Hi everyone, Ghosthany Spooktano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Childish Gambino mixtape and EP, Stone Mountain / Kauai. Rapper, writer, actor, and comedian Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. I have had run-ins with his music in the past, have reviewed his projects before. You can watch some of that here or here. I will also link that down in the description as well as at the end of this video. And while I have not always been a fan of Donald Glover's music, something that I have been admiring about his latest output is that he seems to be getting a little bit more conceptual, ambitious, especially with his last full-length project, Because the Internet, which had some pretty good singles on it, some good pop rap and trap rap tunes here and there with some very clever, maybe even socially conscious or funny lyrics, tracks like Sweatpants and World Star. But much of this album's appeal was sort of lost in translation for me. Lost in the very boring main character with nothing likable or compelling about him, nothing really worth sympathizing with or identifying with. Plus, the storyline of the record itself wasn't really all that cohesive. The storyline of the record itself has more holes than Swiss cheese. What's supposed to bring these gaps together is the 70-page script this record was paired with, which does bring context for some of the tracks here. But a great deal of the scenes in this script are utterly pointless, unrewarding, frivolous, and mundane. Not to mention the fact that this thing is loaded with really generic or even gimmicky supporting characters. However, generally, I still think this record is better than his earlier stuff, so progression's progression. So now Gambino is back with a new concept, a new theme mixtape, and the modus operandi of this tape is stated right at the beginning of this project. Childish Gambino is running Atlanta, at least in a dream. And there is a laundry list of results that he sort of brings forth as a result of this, but the most important of them, dealing specifically with this tape, is that he gets a Gangsta Grillz mixtape with DJ drama screaming all over it. Now, this definitely could have been an interesting opportunity for Gambino to tribute Atlanta's hip-hop scene, maybe even dive more into issues talked about on tracks like World Star, or maybe even give his point of view on hip-hop once again, a subject matter he has been very vocal on. But no, that doesn't happen here. Gambino just uses this mixtape as an opportunity to sort of pump out very low-grade, lowbrow, imitative Southern hip-hop, pop rap, and trap rap, spitting a lot of the time in his trademark whine. Personally, I don't really see any reason to love this tape unless you are just a Gambino fan. You're super invested in his progression in every project that he does. He could be doing a song-for-song cover of Lou Reed and Metallica's Lulu, and you'd be interested. Actually, I'd be curious about that too. But if you just like the sound that Glover is going for on this tape, there are so many other Atlanta artists to listen to. In fact, new Atlanta, there are quite a few new faces around now. After this dream sequence that introduces the entire record, Gambino has some remotely funny punchlines, but only rarely does he actually string together a coherent song. I guess maybe to build off of the dream theme, there are a handful of tracks here that seem to just feature snippets of beats that kind of just fall off or fizzle away and give way to new beats. You kind of get a medley of different non-songs. Then there's the song No Small Talk, which is sort of an ironic title given that this album, this mixtape, pretty much is just tiny, tiny, tiny talk, because not much of it really adds up into anything interesting. The most interesting thing about this track is that there is a featured rapper who kind of sounds like Gangsta Boo. The song Money Baby, Money Baby, oh my god, just another groan-worthy chorus, just like on Fucks Given. The further I go into this tape, the more I realize the only thing I really like about this project are the instrumentals, especially on a track like Ass Shots, which features Childish Gambino and sort of his crew, a bunch of close friends, many of whom aren't really that good at rapping, but Childish Gambino doesn't really seem to care and features them anyway. The spoken word verse on the song You Don't Have to Call is maybe the most interesting set of lyrics on the entire project. Again, like on The End of Camp, we see Childish Gambino actually writing words that reflect the introspective personality and the intelligence that we know he has. The issue is Gambino surrounds these rare moments of authentic humanity with just formulaic. Then we have the EP this mixtape is paired with, a project that a lot of people have been telling me is way more well put together and groomed than Stone Mountain, and maybe in a way it is. The production at a lot of points certainly is not as lo-fi, even though there is a track on here that is supposedly a demo. There are more concise songs on this EP, and DJ Drama isn't screaming all over it, so. However, I don't really care to hear Gambino get his Lionel Richie on or his Billy Ocean on, which is essentially what he's doing on these tracks, especially the intro, which sounds like Neon Indian produced it, and he's just kind of doing this 80s R&B singing shtick over it, and there's nothing really of consequence occurring. And Gambino ensures that that continues to be the case with weak songs, that demo I mentioned earlier, and a really bad intro from Jaden Smith. Really? He just put out one of the wackest songs of the year, and it was only a minute. No, this project doesn't appeal to me, nor do I think it was supposed to, nor do I think it was supposed to appeal to anybody who isn't just already a hardcore Gambino fan, and that's it. I'm feeling a decent to strong 4 on this thing. Transition! If you've given this album a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. Anthony Fantano. Music. Subscribe. Forever.